you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Well, good morning, and it's Friday morning. Welcome to another edition of Good Morning Fort Sill. You know, today is actually a training holiday with the federal holiday on Monday, too. So probably not as many folks doing PT this morning, but we're going to go ahead and kick it over to Michael on the PT wall. I know our basic trainees are definitely out there getting after it this morning. Michael, how's it look this morning?
Well, regardless if you're out or about this morning, temperatures are in the mid-60s with mostly clear skies at Fort Sill. And looking at your PT forecast, if you're still doing that this morning, temperatures will be falling into the lower 60s by the time you get to 5, 6, 7 a.m. And then we'll be slowly rising into the mid to upper 60s, closer to 70 degrees. Elsewhere here in southwestern Oklahoma, we're generally seeing mostly clear skies, 64 in Frederick, Lawton, and 66 in Duncan right now. And then as you look south of the river into north central Texas, you're seeing upper 60s and lower 70s with, again, mostly clear skies out there. Looking at the Comanche Nation Entertainment Tower cam, you can see it's pretty clear out there. And as we go throughout the morning hours, we will start to see a little bit of more of a nice sunrise this morning. Looking at yesterday, we had a high of 89 degrees, which is 10 degrees above average. We're still having well above average temperatures, even though we're pretty much in mid-October. And even our lows were 10 degrees above average. So pretty much it's just like summer in fall. That's what we're experiencing. Elsewhere, we had a high of 86 in Duncan, 89 in Wichita Falls, 85 down in Bowie and in Graham, 91 in Vernon, 87 in Childress, 86 in Elk City.
Thanks, Michael. Taking a look at our top military headlines, there's growing anxiety among our military families as the government shutdown stretches into day 11. Republicans are calling on House Speaker Mike Johnson to bring them back into session ahead of the critical deadline. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more.
This morning, new pressure on Republicans to end the government shutdown as federal workers face a second week without pay.
As a Republican, I'm very disappointed in my party, and I'm very disappointed in you because you do have the power to call the House back. You did that, or you refused to do that just for a show. I am begging you to pass this legislation. My kids could die.
House Speaker Mike Johnson faced fierce criticism on live TV on Thursday as a woman claiming to be a military spouse accuses him of putting her children at risk.
You could stop this, and you could be the one that could say military's getting paid. And I think that it is awful, and the audacity of someone who makes 6 figures a year to do this to military families is insane.
Military families lining up for hours for a food pantry distribution in Fort Hood, Texas, as they brace for a missed paycheck. But Johnson is saying only Democrats can end the shutdown.
Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are preventing your family from getting the care they need, not Republicans, and my heart goes out to you.
Meanwhile, Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene admits her own party could end the shutdown.
I'm a representative. I don't have to be a cheerleader for my party. We control the House. We control the Senate. We have the White House. I've been vocal saying, you know, you can use the nuclear option in the Senate. This doesn't have to be a shutdown.
It comes as airports across the country are hit with hours-long delays due to staffing shortages. 21,000 flights were delayed this week. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is saying 53% of those delays were caused by sick calls. Duffy now saying workers who call out could be fired. House Democrats say they're willing to pass a standalone bill to ensure pay for troops during the shutdown, but Johnson says he won't support the bill because it won't pass the Senate. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Thanks, Nicole. Now, the Senate has actually passed its version of the annual defense policy bill this week, even though that really doesn't help the current shutdown situation. The National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA, passed on a vote of 77 to 20. One of the key measures adopted would end the authorization for the use of military force in Iraq. That was also included in the House's version of the package that was passed last month. Now, the House and the Senate will have to negotiate to resolve the differences between the two packages. The final version must pass both the chambers before year's end. Well, multiple U.S. officials say that the Army is accepting a roughly $1 million donation to bring senior leaders to the annual Association of the United States Army, or AUSA, conference in Washington, D.C. next week. The donation is from AUSA, who is a nonprofit that supports the Army and its mission. The donation covers travel, lodging, and meals for Army leaders and their staff. The conference comes as active duty service members will not be receiving their next paycheck as a result of the shutdown. The viability of the conference had been called into question in the midst of the government shutdown, since it meant no funds for travel or for per diem. Well, a federal judge has granted a temporary restraining order blocking President Donald Trump's deployment of National Guard troops in the state of Illinois for at least 14 days. The court, quote, says, quote, no credible evidence of a rebellion in the state and a deployment of troops could spark civil unrest. The Trump administration says that troops are needed to quell unrest in what it describes as violence-ridden Democratic-led cities. And a federal appeals court could rule at any moment on whether to block or allow National Guard troops to be able to be deployed to Portland. The legal battle over the federalization and deployment of troops to Portland escalated to the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals after the Trump administration quickly appealed a federal judge's decision last weekend to block the troop deployment through a temporary restraining order. Two of the judges on the panel showed skepticism of the plaintiff's arguments.
I'm just trying to figure out why we're giving, district courts the ability to say, well, this is what I see on the outside, so therefore I'm going to transfer that onto what's going on behind the scenes. And we have declarations that say that it is impeding their ability to perform their function.
We have declarations that say we're short-staffed. We're having administrative difficulties because we don't have enough people. That is not a reason to bring the military into the streets of Portland or any other city in the United States.
The justices took that case under advisement and will issue a ruling in the coming days. Well, with the middle of October quickly approaching, there seems to be no end to the government shutdown for the time being, and many people, including our service members, could soon find themselves without a paycheck. If you've been affected, you don't have to go hungry. The Lawton Food Bank here locally is helping out area service members with a special food distribution event between 2 and 4 p.m. on Wednesday of next week. The food bank will extend their hours to accommodate our active duty soldiers and their families. All you need to bring is your current military ID. Fort Sill has shown support for the food bank in the past, and now that support is being returned.
Many of our volunteers, our donors, our military service members, they've given so much to us, and now we are so grateful for an opportunity to give back to them.
The Lawton Food Bank has plans to hold more extended hour days if the government shutdown ends up lasting longer than expected. If you're interested in helping out, you can donate your time, money, or food. To see how, you can head to our website at kswo.com. And as of right now, there's still no telling when the government shutdown will end. For people who have been affected, it could be tough to pay your utility bills. If your bills are due, but you're not sure what to do next or when the next check will hit, there are some options for you. The Public Service Company of Oklahoma has 3 main programs to help you keep the lights on.
Our payment extension program, and that kind of, might be the right choice if, you can pay your bill in just a few days. You might need a little bit more time to pay your bill off. Another one of the programs is kind of a payment arrangement or something like that. And that's kind of more for folks who need to spread out their bill a little bit longer. Another option is Power Pay. That's kind of more of a pay-as-you-go option.
There are more options that you can find on PSO's website or by calling their customer support at the number that you see on your screen. And if you are with Summit Utilities, the company also has assistance programs to help get the gas bill paid. A spokesperson with Summit released a statement on the matter saying, in part, quote, we offer several options for families facing financial hardship, including flexible payment arrangements and assistance programs designed to help customers manage their natural gas costs. And you can check out their website or call their customer service to see what kind of assistance Summit offers. Both of those are on your screen right now. And we will be conducting a live stream on the 7 News Facebook and YouTube channels today at 10 a.m. to review all of the various resources and financial assistance that is currently available to service members, federal employees, and their families. You can also find links to all of those resources in our shutdown article that is posted under the military section on our website at kswo.com. Well, the VFW Post 1193 is hosting their monthly Feed the Community event tomorrow. It will be held from noon until 2 p.m. On the menu this month is gumbo, rice, desserts, and a drink. The meal is free, but no to-go plates will be offered until 2 p.m. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt is speaking out against National Guard troops being deployed in America's cities. According to multiple reports from news outlets, Stitt broke with Texas and criticized the deployment of the Texas National Guard troops to Illinois as a violation of his beliefs in federalism and states' rights. His comments mark the first time that a Republican governor has questioned the interstate deployment of National Guard troops over that governor's objections, adding, quote, Oklahomans would lose their minds if Pritzker in Illinois sent troops down to Oklahoma during the Biden administration. Shepherd Air Force Base will be conducting vital active shooter training at Shepherd Elementary School tomorrow and Saturday the 18th. That training will be from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. both days. You may hear simulated gunfire during the exercise. For more information, you can contact the 82nd Security Forces Squadron on Shepherd Air Force Base. The U.S. Coast Guard is set to buy Finnish icebreaker ships to increase American presence in the Arctic. We'll have the latest news from around the forces when Good Morning Fort Sill returns.
This 7 News broadcast is sponsored by Southwest Buick GMC. Every evening,
a man charged in a deadly hit-and-run from 2023 has been sentenced.
7 News is working for you.
There's another shakeup in the Lawton City Council as another member announces their resignation.
Your first alert for what's next.
That triple-digit heat that you saw in those 2 towns, that'll be throughout most of our areas we head in next week.
Uncovering breaking stories that impact Texoma.
The Lawton Firefighters Association is raising awareness about critical staffing issues.
7 News. Working for you every night at 10.
A man charged in a deadly hit-and-run from 2023 has been sentenced.
7 News is working for you.
The Lawton Firefighters Association is raising awareness about critical staffing issues.
7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6. Every first, every morning, we're here. The KSWO 7 News app. Here's your first alert forecast with meteorologist Michael Amanqua.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're seeing our temperatures in the mid-60s out there and a few upper 60s, especially towards the eastern portions of the area. Currently 68 in Waurika, 64 in Duncan, 64 as well in Duncan and Fort Sill, 66 in Wichita Falls. Altus at 64 as well, so generally mid to upper 60s across the area. Relative humidity values where they're anywhere between 70 and 90%, and especially across our eastern counties. And then looking at our winds, they're pretty calm right now, mainly out of the east and southeast, anywhere between 0 and 10 miles per hour. They will be slowly switching to the south as we get into the later part of today. And you can see warmer air really returning into our region, and we're not seeing much in the way of precipitation. This is our look. This is how things look usually in the summertime. So this is what I call summertime in fall. And I've heard other meteorologists say the same thing, where we're getting the summertime heat dome pretty much dominating the southern parts of the U.S., where the desert Southwest is getting a lot of tropical moisture, and where they typically see their monsoon season during June and July, June through August. Generally, we remain high and dry, but it's kind of reversed. Our fall has been very dry, but our summer has been very wet. So that is just something, an interesting fact to know. And this same thing happened last year. October was relatively dry. Looking at the tropics right now, Tropical Storm Jerry is continuing to make its way towards the north, and then eventually will just drift off into the Atlantic. And yesterday we had a small storm, a subtropical storm Karen. It doesn't have a lot of tropical characteristics with it, but it's not even going to last very long until maybe about a weekend before it starts to die out in the northern parts of the Atlantic.
Well, the U.S. Coast Guard is set to buy 4 icebreaker ships from Finland. The move is set to increase U.S. military presence in the Arctic in order to combat Chinese and Russian influence in the area. President Trump brokered the deal with Finnish President Alexander Stubb in the Oval Office yesterday.
We're going to work together very closely with Finland and with NATO. We have a very good relationship. We make the best military equipment. They buy a lot from us, so it's very good.
The new agreement is part of a larger deal to use Finland's expertise to build up to 7 additional icebreakers in U.S. shipyards. The 11 medium icebreakers are expected to cost around $6 billion. Officials say that the goal is for the first one to be delivered by 2028. Well, nearly 180 civilian workers employed by the U.S. Air Force Academy returned to work this week despite the government shutdown. A spokesperson for the Academy says that the return falls under the exception approved by the Secretary of the Air Force in coordination with the Department of War. Employees are authorized to perform limited duties essential to the school's core mission of graduating and commissioning second lieutenants for the Air and Space Force. The returning employees will not be paid until funds are appropriated via legislation. VFW posts around the country have seen steadily declining membership numbers. Coming up after the break, what factors may be contributing to that trend?
Every evening,
a man charged in a deadly hit and run from 2023 has been sentenced.
7 News is working for you.
There's another shakeup in the Lawton City Council as another member announces their resignation.
Your first alert for what's next.
That triple-digit heat that you saw in those 2 towns, that'll be throughout most of our areas we heading in next week.
Uncovering breaking stories that impact Texoma.
The Lawton Firefighters Association is raising awareness about critical staffing issues.
7 News, working for you every night at 10.
A man charged in a deadly hit and run from 2023 has been sentenced.
7 News is working for you.
The Lawton Firefighters Association is raising awareness about critical staffing issues.
7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6. Every first, every morning, we're here. The KSWO 7 News app.
Take a look at other military headlines. Some of the nation's oldest and largest veterans groups are taking a different approach to attract younger veterans. Carol Whitmore, the newly installed National Commander-in-Chief at VFW, said a major goal is to modernize the 125-year-old organization. Whitmore pointed out to non-traditional activities at some VFW posts, including e-gaming leagues, art shows, and yoga classes that welcome the public. She said that the VFW is changing along with the makeup of the veteran population. Well, tensions have eased in the Middle East with the Gaza ceasefire now in effect. Displaced Palestinians are getting a break from the bombing, and Israelis are eagerly awaiting the release of the remaining hostages. Now American troops will head to Israel to help monitor the truce. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the latest details.
This morning, the Israel-Hamas peace deal is official. The Israeli government has approved Phase 1 of the ceasefire agreement aimed at ending the war.
We couldn't have achieved it without the extraordinary help of President Trump and his team.
As part of the agreement, Israel has begun pulling back its troops to an agreed-upon line in Gaza. Once that's complete, Hamas will have 72 hours to release the 20 living hostages and the remains of 28 others.
We secured the release of all of the remaining hostages, and they should be released on Monday or Tuesday.
In exchange, Israel will release more than 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. But there are questions about what happens after Phase 1.
Can Hamas be disarmed? No one is going to send their troops or their administrators to Gaza if Hamas still has guns.
The president's 20-point plan has called for Hamas to disarm and for Gaza to be governed by an apolitical Palestinian committee overseen by an international board of peace with Trump as its chairman.
What guarantees Hamas disarms and that Israel doesn't resume bombing once the hostages are released?
The first thing we're doing is getting our hostages back. Okay, and that's what people wanted more than anything else. And after that, we'll see.
The U.S. is preparing to send 200 service members to Israel, tasked with monitoring the ceasefire and supporting humanitarian aid, security, and logistics. Officials stressing there will be no boots on the ground in Gaza. While key aspects of the deal remain unclear, news of these first steps has sparked celebrations across Gaza and Israel. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
Well, a barber shop in Florida is giving back to those working without a paycheck to look and feel their best. Isabella Benjumia has more on how a simple haircut is helping service members keep some sort of normalcy during this uncertain time.
Behind every buzz and every trim, there's a story to be told at 850 Fade Factory.
I wanted a place where everybody could hang out, that
You know, you interact with people on a person-to-person basis instead of online and on a phone.
Amanda McCoy has been cutting hair for 10 years. 2 years ago, she opened her own barber shop in Bay County, where she's now built a community.
It's a very intimate thing to do with a client, and you have to build a trust, which builds long-term relationships, and that's what the industry is about and should be about. Shouldn't be about a burn and turn.
Amanda's helping out some of her clientele during a difficult time.
Haircuts are about dignity and self-confidence, and I really feel like people shouldn't have to go without that, especially people that are public servants.
We're told that government employees and military personnel make up at least 60% of A50 Fade Factory's customers. Now they're receiving free haircuts all throughout the government shutdown.
They didn't ask for this shutdown. You know, it doesn't matter left side of the aisle, right side of the aisle, we're all a family here at the barbershop, the staff, the clients. We would not be able to do what we love to do, providing for the community or ourselves and each other, without them, so why not give back to them?
Amanda says in just 2 days, her clients pitched in and raised $700 to help cover the cost of all public servants. She says that shows how kindness and community goes a long way.
Let us help you guys the way you guys have helped us.
Here's your first alert forecast with meteorologist Michael Amanqua.
Now, our weekend will be mainly dry, but as we head towards, especially on your Sunday, we really start getting those winds out there, out of the south, mainly between 5 and 15 miles per hour, and then 10 to 25 on your Sunday. But looking at future wind gusts for your Saturday, we can see wind gusts up to 20, maybe 22, but especially as we go into your Sunday, we can get wind gusts up to 30, 32 in Elk City, 27 in Altus. So it will be a very windy day on your Sunday. Saturday shouldn't be as windy, so just keep that in mind if you have any weekend plans. Mostly sunny as you go to your Friday, and then as you go into your Friday night into your Saturday morning, call it partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, and then we'll have another day of sunny skies with temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s on your Saturday. Heading into your Sunday, we have those winds in place, becoming more partly cloudy, and then some precipitation is possible as you go into your Monday morning. A front comes in by your Monday, but then it stalls out as a stationary front by the time you get into your Tuesday, and then it will lift up north as a warm front going into your late Tuesday and into your Wednesday. So this front is not going to stay for long. Looking at today, we'll have a high of 89 degrees, so it's mostly sunny skies. We'll have winds out of the south anywhere between 5 and 10, down to a low of 61 degrees for tonight. And then as we go into tomorrow, temperatures will be back in the upper 80s and lower 90s across the area. Looking at your 7-day forecast, we continue to warm up as we head into the weekend. And then as we go into next week, maybe some small rain chances are possible. Generally, highs will be in the upper 80s, close to 90.
Well, thanks for watching Good Morning Fort Sill. You can check the 7 News app today for the latest updates and breaking news.